Are we ready? Thank you. Morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Please mute the ringer on your phone if you haven't already done so. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freely.
Oh.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Majerick.
Here.
Meeks.
Here.
Scott.
Present.
Ballrath.
Present.
Werfel.
Here.
Yarborough.
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. The minutes from last week's committee of the whole, any changes, corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Moved by Volrath,
Second.
supported by Meeks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Requisition review. Anybody have any issue with any of the requisitions? All right, very good. We'll sign those around the horn. We have presentations, life-saving awards to be presented by the sheriff or under sheriff in this case.
Sheriff's walking in, but we're prepared.
Okay, well, let's proceed.
We're ready. Well,
Sheriff?
thank you. Thank you for letting us come and honor some of our deputies that have done a great job, and I'm going to turn it over to the Under Sheriff Chief Deputy. That's awesome.
So the chief is gonna read some of the synopsis behind it, and then we've got the certificates to present.
Well, we felt it was appropriate to honor several of our deputies for some of the life-saving issues that took place over the past month. We're honoring 4 today. 1 was able to make it today, the other because of training and childcare issues and stuff were unable to make it, but we still felt it was appropriate to honor them. So we'll start with the first one. It's going to be honoring Deputy Brittany Garzon. On June 30th, 2021, Deputy Garzon was dispatched to a residence in Chickamine Township where a neighbor reported observing significant smoke coming from the residence. When Deputy Garzon and Sergeant Tilley from the New Buffalo City Police Department arrived on scene, they made entry into the residence while pushing through significant smoke and potentially life-threatening atmosphere. As Deputy Garzon and the New Buffalo City officer, Sergeant Tilley, entered the residence, they constantly were yelling out to get the attention of any individuals who remained inside of the residence. At this time, Deputy Garzon and Sergeant Tilley heard a male voice answer from a bedroom area. The deputy and sergeant were able to locate a 55-year-old male inside of the residence, and they determined that this individual was disoriented and that he was unable to extricate himself from the residence. Deputy Garzon and Sergeant Tilley were able to assist the 55-year-old male from the residence, who was turned over to paramedics for the administration of first aid. The 55-year-old male sustained third-degree burns on approximately 50% of his body, and he was transported to Bronson Medical Center in Kalamazoo for further treatment of his injuries. Due to the actions taken by Deputy Garzon and Sergeant Tilley in entering the smoke-filled residence, the life of this 55-year-old male was saved. Thus, the Berrien County Sheriff's Office is presenting Deputy Garzon with the Life-Saving Bravery Award, which the Undersheriff will read.
So you may have seen before I read this, Deputy Garzon was assigned in New Buffalo Township. So New Buffalo Township and the city of New Buffalo have recognized both Sergeant Tilley and Deputy Garzon. We found it was very fitting for us to do the same. So it's a Life-Saving Bravery Award. The Life-Saving Bravery Award is presented to Deputy Garzon with honor and gratitude for your actions on June 30th, 2021. You successfully removed a male victim from a residence which was on fire and filled with smoke. Deputy Garzon helped carry out the life-saving mission without regard to her own safety. The actions taken by Deputy Garzon were instrumental in saving the life of David Potts, L. Paul Bailey Sheriff. So Brittany was not able to be here today. Like I said, New Buffalo Township and the city of New Buffalo have also recognized the efforts of both individuals.
Okay. All right, and the second one involves 3 deputies working as a team, being Deputy Michael Pellerito, Deputy Cody Utt, who is in the audience, and Deputy Micah Carlson. On August 9, 2021, Deputies Pellerito, Utt, and Carlson responded to the scene of a shooting in the city of Niles. When the deputies arrived on scene, they located a 15-year-old male who had been shot in the right arm and chest. The deputies were some of the first responders on scene, and they began to immediately administer first aid to the victim, which consisted of utilizing quick clot and gauze to control the bleeding until paramedics arrived on scene and took over the life-saving efforts. The 15-year-old victim was transported to a medical care facility where he successfully recovered from his injuries. According to the medical professionals, the initial first aid actions taken by deputies Pellerito, and Carlson were instrumental in controlling the bleeding and preventing potential life-ending injuries to the victim. In addition to administering first aid, the 3 deputies obtained further information from the victim and other witnesses on the scene, which ultimately led to the apprehension of the individual responsible for the shooting. Thus, the Berrien County Sheriff's Office is presenting Deputy Pellerito, Deputy and Deputy Carlson with the Berrien County Sheriff's Office Life Saving Award.
So we have the 3, Cody, if you step up. So I'll read the one, obviously the certificate is the same. Also, there's a pin that they get to wear on their uniform that's going to be presented with the certificate. So this Life Saving Award is presented to Deputy Hutt with honor and gratitude for your actions on August 9, 2021. You successfully worked with your fellow deputies by providing medical treatment to a juvenile who sustained multiple gunshot wounds. The actions taken by Deputy Hutt and the other deputies were instrumental in saving the life of the victim. L. Paul Bailey, Sheriff. And again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting us. Thank you.
Ryan, do we have anything else?
We do, sir.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I glossed right over that.
Good morning. I'm in the right room this week. Hey, I wanted to give personnel the experience of actually listening to roads and getting to make that decision a little bit. So got them excited. So as you know, the administration committee is busy today, so we came to the committee of the whole so we could talk to them and prep finance a little bit. So last week we put in a request for bid to go out for Fairplain Avenue and Benton Charter Township. This is from M139 to roughly Mall Place. So if you're familiar where the old Target used to be, down around to where Lowe's and Walmart is. This is currently a 5-lane road, 2 lanes in each direction and a center turn lane in there. There is government housing on one corner of Plaza Drive and Fairplain, and on the other side, a very large apartment complex. What we experienced down there several times throughout the day and week is multiple residents traveling down the center turn lane in motorized wheelchairs, bicycles, or just walking. It is a major safety concern on our end. We've been looking at it for about 2 years now. Real quick back history, when that area was built, it was built underneath the SAD district. So there is funding available still that was not spent then that can be used now in this area to improve it. So what we are recommending is taking that road to a 3-lane. That means 1 lane in each direction with a center turn lane. What we'll do is oversize the center turn lane. So it'll be a little bit bigger than what you're used to, and have a shoulder in there that's about 8 to 9 feet roughly, for people to utilize as a walking path, as pedestrian, non-motorized, anything like that that is outside of the travel lane. We will restripe it to that when we do it. That will be our first. We're still looking at an option of putting a different type of striping with a white line on the outside to really signify that, hey, this is not a travel lane. And then possibly even using some type of reflector in the pavement for wintertime operations to signify the same thing. So we've been working with the township on this. The township has actually requested this 2 years ago with us. We have a letter of consent from them, but after last week's meeting, We reached back out to them, and next Wednesday, they will provide us a resolution from Benton Township in support of this project. So that's what we just wanted to give a quick briefing on. This will just be a simple, we'll mill 2 inches of asphalt out, pave 2 inches back in. It'll be a little bit of a different maintenance of traffic because of the state highway and the signal right there. That intersection will remain the same, how it is now. It'll reduce after it. So you should see no operations change. MDOT has reviewed the initial detour and plans and has made one comment to add an extra sign, and they're okay with the project going forward as well. So we just wanted everybody to hear it now since we weren't able to get the admin last week. So any quick questions on that?
Did they take it to the businesses and the businesses so much?
We haven't had any issues with the business that we've talked to, but we haven't had many that have come out. You know, with the big ones coming in there, it's tough to get someone from Walmart or Lowe's without going to their corporate and getting someone to understand it.
I'm glad to hear that. I think I talked with Brian about a couple weeks about that very issue. So I'm very glad that that's happening. And I've seen over the years, people in wheelchairs, I've seen ladies pushing their kids in the grass at that point. So it's very much needed. But I was kind of like, if you guys would consider sidewalks in that area.
So there's the fun part of sidewalks is that was considered, and we looked at Benton Township and asked, are you going to maintain them? And they're like, no, we don't maintain sidewalks. So we felt this was a better route because in the wintertime, that shoulder is going to get plowed when we go through there. So they'll still have a walkable path in the winter, where in the wintertime with the sidewalk, unless Benton Township plows it, it wouldn't be usable, I guess, in a way. So that was kind of the idea behind this. But we are trying to work with Benton Township in getting a sidewalk standard for Napier, because since St. Joe Township's doing it, we want to try and push it down Napier, work with them to get federal funding, and then we can also push down Plaza Drive to Fairplain to connect that entire corridor.
Well, and also, I like the property so Napier. That could have done a lot there too. So that 3-lane is working.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of improvement with that as well. Accident reduction has reduced significantly. There's not a lot we can do without data, but I think Fairplain Avenue is one that it is basically a common sense. We can look at it and say, there's an issue, we can correct it, let's do it. So.
Yeah, Kevin, does that change your Public Act 51 money then?
No, it does not, because Act 51 is based on center line mile, not lane mile.
Well, that's what I was wondering on. And the other thing is whether it went from primary to secondary to local because of the lane configuration and the widths and everything.
Nope, it will stay the same classification it is now.
Thank you.
See you. Any other quick questions on that?
Yes, I would like to ask, I'm so thankful you're doing that. I want you all to know that when Harbor Point was built, I was the manager. We had no buildings or anything. Then they built the other set. Is there any way the residents can know what's going on?
Yeah, once we get the project back in, which should be next week, once we get, which would be perfect because we'll have the resolution from the board when we come to finance to open those bids in the following week, we will be able to contact them in some way, shape, or form to let them know. We'll try and get some type of contact for the facility itself.
Even the office, the manager, because
Yep.
I live in the city of Benton Harbor. I went to the library one Friday and there was the deepest hole I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
We had no idea what was going on and they're right across the street from us. And so people need to know.
The timing of the project is still uncertain, so we're bidding out late season to get a good price. But if a contractor schedule opens up end of the year, they can jump on it this year. If not, completion date is by Memorial Day next year. So they can jump on it first thing out the door.
Thank you.
The last thing on different subject that we just want to mention, we've been talking with financial Doug James, Brian a little bit, is with our equipment purchases this year. We have, obviously you guys know, we are proposing a very large budget for equipment purchases. We are in an area just like the sheriff is to where everything is about 6 to 8 months out. So we are looking right now to come back probably next week, looking for approval for a commitment, not spending any money. No money was spent until fiscal year 2022, but to get our name on the list and guarantee a price before a price increase. The one thing we have looked at is, you've all heard us talk about My Deal in the past. My Deal doesn't always give you the best price, but it takes away the bidding process. So if we don't know how to spec out a piece of equipment, the hydraulic capacities, what it can do, engine, all that, They do it for us competitively, allow us to jump on it and buy it. Not always the best price. Sometimes it is. We have discovered I shouldn't say discovered, it's been out there, and I think we've researched it about 3 years ago. It's called Sourcewell. It's nationally. It's the same thing as My Deal, except nationally. A bunch of lawyers created this years ago for municipalities to use to get a better price. We have looked into it, and it is almost identical to My Deal, but zero membership cost. So we're able to do this, no obligation, no fees, no commitment. Go in, grab their contracts, see all the documentation that has been competitively bid, and come forward with a list of equipment saying, here it is. We have got that list of equipment for the first round that they're able to do, which is most of our graders, tractors, skid steers, things like that, that we're able to get from one dealer out of South Bend, even though it's nationally. And if we do a group bundling of that equipment, we even get a bigger discount from that. But price increases come into play at the end of October. So we just wanted to kind of brief everybody on that a little bit. Again, admin, since we don't get to meet with you guys today, we wanted to kind of get your feel on that. And then next week, we were hoping to go to finance to get that initial commitment approval to go forward. Any questions?
Back to the Fairplane project. You said there's SAD money. So was there a special assessment district back at the time?
When Fairplane was built to what it is today, there was a assessment district put in place for all those businesses out there, even Pipestone Road, when it was built to what it is. Funding was collected, it was spent, but there was roughly 470,000 and change that was not. So it's been sitting as a restricted fund in our terms, but after digging into it with county finances and the attorneys and stuff, we've discovered that we can access it and spend it in this area alone.
Was it a road special assessment
Yes.
district?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Kevin, I've got a question that has nothing to do with any of your presentations. Can you give me an update, please, on mowing? I'm getting just a lot of calls. And, you know, first of all, they wanted to know why their road wasn't done chip and sealed. And then I told them that we're going to start the mowing once we're done with the chip and seal. And that's been a little while ago. So I'm just getting a lot of calls.
Hi, I'm Greg from Barron County Road Department Superintendent this year. As far as your question, you know, we have on our bid this year for new equipment, our mowers. The mowers that we have like 4 of them that are 3 years old. Everything from there is like in the early 90s, so they're breaking down. You know, that's why we're pushing to buy newer equipment. Right now, I believe the shop has 6 mowers in there that are broke down. You know, we're trying to get them out as fast as we can. You know, with the manpower that we have this year and the slow that we got started with our seal coat and stuff, I'm not making excuses because I hate saying it. It's because, you know, manpower, but that's what it was, manpower. You know, right now we're working as fast as we can to mow everything.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Like I said, it's all equipment driven. You know, we're trying to get stuff out there. We're trying to, you know, do the best we can with the people that we have, you know, and the equipment that we have.
Yes, may I ask? I'd like to ask Administrator Doucette, are you there? Is it today that we talk with the road department about the equipment? I saw a waiver. So they're coming.
Yeah, ma'am, it's next week. It's
Oh.
part of the finance committee. You'll have the waiver request at that meeting.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Because I thought we got one, didn't we?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, we got it
We
already.
got it already. It's national.
I thought Jake Lineker sent it out.
Sounds like you're going to be looking at it
So you'll be
today.
prepped for next week.
All right.
Yeah, okay, thank you, so that we can get this moving.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
because I saw it too.
thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Are we ready for public comments? Okay. guess we don't have any public comments. We'll go to other business. Anybody have anything? Okay, well, we'll wrap up and we'll break and get ready for committees and be back here in an hour and a half.